don't think I've been to a psychic reading before, so
Oh, okay.
this is going to be so interesting.
Oh, cool, cool.
And now I don't even know what to ask. Like, oh,
Well,
it's so
don't worry.
exciting.
Even if people don't know what to ask, I usually start getting information, and that's something we can go with. I have a coaching background before I became a psychic, so it often is a bit of both of those in the session.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's perfect. Okay,
Wonderful.
sure. Well, at 11:11,
Hmm.
so I work at school.
Oh,
The bell
nice.
might ring just for transition of
Okay.
class. Yeah, like
That's
this.
fine.
But
Has anyone found Oh, or there might be announcements like that. We can go ahead and start with the meditation
meditation,
part. Any other questions you have right now?
not really. I might later.
Okay.
At
Okay.
this point, I'm just flowing with it.
Yay. And taking in a deep breath in through your nose and feeling your breath going anywhere in your body that needs a little bit of energy, oxygen, love, attention, whatever it is that you need in your extremities, letting the air flow there, letting the energy and attention flow there. And when you're ready, you can exhale, taking in another deep breath and feeling it going all the way down to your toes. And if you want to wiggle your toes, you can. And giving your feet a moment of gratitude for all the halls you walk down, the classroom, the work, going to home, everywhere your feet take you, here and there, in and out. They're such beautiful little parts of us that they don't always get a lot of attention, but we rely on our feet so much. And taking in another deep breath in through your nose and picturing that any parts of your attention or your emotions or your being that feels that it may be left in another place, like your attention was thinking of something that you have to do before tomorrow or something that you did yesterday, or emotional upheavals or things that have happened, letting that all be what it was and calling back to you right now all of your energy, all of your presence, all of your intentions and awareness and being and focus, emotional energy, mental energy, soul energy, all of that is coming back to you right now in this present moment. And with your next exhale, letting go of anything that's not serving you anymore for this period of time in your life. Maybe you've been adjusting to try and meet other people's expectations. So maybe you're letting that go. Maybe there was something you'd really hoped that would happen this year, or a goal that you had, or something that you thought would happen that was even outside of your control and it didn't happen. So just letting go of the expectation that would happen, and as much as you can let go of sadness or grief and disappointment around that not happening. And taking in another deep breath and feeling that all of the energy and emotion or feeling that you want to call into your life right now, that whatever it is that would most benefit you, maybe it's happiness, maybe it's focus, maybe it's something else, whatever that is, you're feeling yourself filling up with it. Your being is experiencing this emotion, this feeling, this quality that you would really enjoy having in your life right now. And you're noticing what it feels like when you're focused on this feeling. And sometimes parts of our body too, like maybe your heart or your shoulders or your legs or your arms, respond when there's a certain emotion that we're calling forward, or a certain memory, like when I was just talking about, things that could have happened this year. So it's good to notice, is there a place in your body where those memories or those feelings seem to collect or be activated or be centered around a certain place in your body? And if you are noticing something like that, we're going to take a moment to just have gratitude that you're taking this time with yourself, with your body, that you're noticing how you feel, that you're paying attention to yourself, because that has great value. And this, even if paying attention doesn't necessarily resolve an issue that needs to be resolved, it's giving yourself the time to notice how you feel and to notice how you're responding and to have that experience of this is what happens when you're paying attention to yourself and calling in a feeling that you want and letting go of past disappointment or expectations. And taking in another deep breath and giving gratitude or feeling gratitude for the area where you live, the beauty of it, the elements of it that support you and help you to do the things of your life that you want to do, whether it's the people or the buildings or the way the landscape looks or the fact that it's a comfortable place where you know how to get around and all of that. Having a moment of appreciation for the good qualities of the town that you're in, the land that you're in. And if there's a feeling of, oh, maybe there were some things I wanted to do, but I didn't do yet, like fall activities, or, maybe you haven't been getting out into nature and you like that. Noticing, however, whatever thoughts and feelings are coming up and thinking, okay, I can return to that later. That's good information, good knowledge to have. And with your next deep breath, we're calling in all of the beings who love you and care for you and support you, those that are seen and unseen, those who are living and departed, angels, spirit guides, whoever it is that you feel is on your side, on your team, rooting for you, believing in you, supporting you. They're all gathering here, gathering together now around you to offer their love and their support and their guidance and their wisdom. Was there anything big that you were hoping would happen this year that didn't happen?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel comfortable talking about it?
Yes, absolutely. I was launching my coaching business, but for some reason, I don't know if it's just me, procrastinating and there's actually a couple of things, and because I do want to start building a structure for passive income, like, through e-commerce and all of that, but there seems to be like a block, from my side emotionally. And I have been helping women with, like, coaching and like invite them, but like I haven't really charged anything. And so, yeah, I guess it's like, that massive action that I don't know, like I won't say that I'm a perfectionist, but I seem to always like, okay, keep on putting it off. And so like now it's like the end of the year and I still haven't really monetized it. And I think I'm frustrated with myself, like, because of that. Yeah, I think that's like the biggest thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just going to sit for a minute because I know that for me, when I have to talk about something that I wanted to happen that didn't, also what comes up is not just frustration, but like feelings of failure. And I don't want other people to know. So I acknowledge whether or not that comes up for you, I acknowledge you sharing this with me because that is also a big deal. I feel like to talk about, I wanted this and now I'm frustrated and this is where I am with it. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to see about if your guides have anything to say about the coaching or the block, or I feel like when you talked about e-commerce and before I even start to say the word e-commerce, from the other side, I just start feeling all of this energy start moving. Like, what if there was a visual, what would that be? I'm trying, because I can kind of see something, but how do I put it into words? It just starts feeling like for you, that's where a lot of activity could be or could happen right away. Let's see if I can say anything else about this. Okay. A few things. So they're telling me that the coaching that you were doing with women, they like the idea of, and you might create it in a different form, but they're showing me like a workbook, like you might do for your students, but with these women. So like a workbook that you've created that's breaking down some of this process that you're doing with them, or the way that you're changing their thinking, or the thing that you're doing with them. Because one of the things they're telling me that you did a really good job of, which I think probably also comes from a teaching background too, is like breaking things down so that people can work through it and it doesn't feel like big and overwhelming.
Announcement: the PDIS store will be open during.
Okay.
Okay. So, and let's see if there's anything else they're telling me about that. Would you say that that was one of the things that you could tell that you were helping people with?
Breaking things down. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Like,
good. Were there
mhm.
any consistent themes from like client to client or overall?
Overall, really, yeah. It seems like I found like, this common denominator, that would apply to everyone. And everyone wants like, to start from easy, of
Mm-hmm.
course, right? And then it kind of like builds up.
Oh,
So yeah, that I'm good at that.
oh,
So
good. And I like the word easy. If there's a way when you're doing what you're doing that you can have that in your marketing or in the description or in the product, because to me, it's believable. Like I feel when you say it, I'm like, yeah, this is easy. And I can also feel the people would be attracted to, okay, I want it to feel easy to start.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I like it. Easy.
Oh, good. I love that. Okay. And I'm also, okay, there's a sense I have of beyond the people you're coaching, that there are one or two areas of life that are, oh my gosh, even as I'm talking about this again, I can feel like the energy increasing and getting like super excited and vibrant. There's one or two areas of life that you have a passion about, and it seems that in the same way that you'll create these workbooks, let's say, that you could create something else related to these passions that, again, it really does feel, and you can take it however you want it, but to me it feels like a small book or place cards or a workbook or something that is easy to print out. So printables, I'll just call them printables. I don't know if you love drinking tea or something like that. You do? Okay. To me, that's one of the things that I'm getting. Oh yeah. So oh yeah, now I'm getting all the tingles up my arms. So you
Yeah,
know
I
I,
work with herbs.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yes. Oh my gosh. Now the goosebumps are all like up and down my body. So,
hmm
a few things. I mean, like a super easy thing is like make your masterful tea mix. And it's a sheet you create that's a printable that helps people like keep track of what you put in your tea blend today and tomorrow and the next day, so that 2 weeks from now you can be like, this is what I like the best. I mean, that printable would be super easy to make. It feels like something like this that's very easy for you to make, that
Mm.
really makes it easy for people to start making their own tea blends, perhaps. Or yeah, okay, I'm so glad you love tea and herbs, because to me it feels like there's just, that's also easy for you. If like, I feel like if I let you, you could be like, okay, let me talk about tea for the next 35 to 2
Yeah.
hours, 35 minutes to 2 hours.
Yeah,
And
what do
you
you need? Like I could tell you, I
yeah.
could give you all the recipes. Yeah.
And you would not run out of things to say.
Yeah.
And I like that you have been coaching people, but one thing that I feel like is a little bit of a contrast internally, and you can tell me this may be wrong, but what it feels like to me is, even though you like helping them and you can do it, it's not passive income. And so it feels like there's a part of you that's like, this is good, but it's not where I want to go. And so
Mm.
it feels like it's hard to invest in that when in your mind there's things, like a printable that somebody can watch a tea video that you made and then download some printables, and you didn't have to be there at all. They just saw it and got inspired, and maybe even you Oh, okay. Now I'm getting all these other fun ideas. Maybe you even do tea tours or like retreat experiences that are coaching and herbs and tea and like all of that together. Like maybe your time with the women is also not just coaching them, but there's an experience that goes along with it that is really nourishing to you.
Yeah, that's a part that I love about coaching is that part of connecting
Yes.
with other women. You know, we hang out and we have fun and we
Yes.
exchange inspiration. Yeah, and of course, like, drinking tea, hanging out, like how fun is that?
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, that is actually the second time because I also have a coach that
Uh-huh.
also suggested that,
Ooh.
like, retreat. And I don't know, I guess another big thing that I am working on. Well, I don't think I've started working on it. It's just been in my mind for the last year
Mm-hmm.
is traveling and
Mm.
share my traveling experience, like, I don't know, through writing or recordings. And because
Oh,
there's like
yeah.
so much in that, like, it's so much expansion and inspiration of,
Yes.
from all these different places. And then my coach did suggest, well, maybe you could like combine that, like, when you travel to
Yes.
some place and you find a place that's like the most inspirational, and then you invite women to do a retreat there.
Mm-hmm.
Far-fetched. I mean, but yeah, that'd be so much fun.
That would be. And it seems far-fetched now, but it's I have thought for myself too. I'm like, oh, could I do a retreat? For me, it's like 2 years away at the earliest, just because I have small kids, kind of want to do the retreat without them. And I don't want to just leave for a week and be like, see you
Yeah,
later. I mean, tons of people do, but it's just not my comfort level yet.
yeah.
And I haven't built up the fluency or the skill set or whatever to feel like I could pull that off yet. But as I'm talking about this and thinking about it for you, I'm thinking this month you could in your town have a tea and coaching afternoon, and you could start doing some local events. And then maybe there's Dobra Tea House, and I think it's in Vermont. Have you ever
Yeah.
been there?
There's
So
also yeah, Dobra Tea House in Massachusetts too, like
Oh,
not too far
okay.
from
Maybe
here.
it's there. Okay. I used to live in Asheville, and I don't know if he started the first Dobra there or up north, but he has
Nope.
one down my area
Ah,
too.
it's really
Um,
nice.
yeah. So I'm thinking, what if you start doing some little local events that are, you don't have to worry about all the logistics of a retreat. You're just doing the gathering of the people, and you start hearing where they want to go, hearing what they want to do. And then maybe you go to Massachusetts or Vermont or somewhere that it's like, maybe it's a small overnight type of event that you organize so that, you know, maybe by next summer you feel ready to host a retreat. Or if not, you at least know, okay, these are the things that go into it. And I feel like that's a really nice, easy way to work towards it without just thinking, okay, it's so big, how will I ever get there?
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I can probably collaborate with like a business owner or something.
Yes. Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
This
Yeah.
is fun. There's a place near me. I'm trying to think of what it is. I haven't seen them doing this lately, but before the pandemic, no, actually it was when I lived in Asheville. There was a tea company there that there's an event called Creative Mornings. There's probably one not far from you, but you're probably teaching when it happens. So it's usually like one morning a month that there's a speaker and all these creative people gather to learn about something new. So in Asheville, and maybe they don't always happen in the morning, but in Asheville they do. And there was a local tea company that every month they made a tea blend based on the monthly theme that the speaker was speaking about. And so that was like an easy way that they got themselves out there. And I was thinking, that maybe something like a variation of that could work for you. Oh, the bell's probably ringing again. Yeah, and maybe it's not that you make tea blends, but I don't know what it is. Maybe also you visit some farms that grow the herbs that you like, and that's part of an experience. I mean, I love farms. So to me, I'm like, if there was like a farm retreat coaching thing, that sounds so nice.
Yeah, right. I think that would be awesome. Yeah. Well, my focus with the tea blends, because that's what I used to do. Like I would prescribe like, certain herbs for certain needs, like
Oh,
female hormone health. Like, you use
yes.
red clover, mugwort, lavender,
Yes.
chamomile, right? They're all like really good for like calming and balancing the hormones. And there's
Mm.
that. And I also craft tea for sleep and then for
Mm.
energies and for lung health,
Oh,
especially that
yes.
was a bestseller, especially like, during COVID,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like mullein leaves, coltsfoot, lobelia, like, those are
Yes.
those are expectorants and, they're very
Yes.
healing for the lungs. And yeah, that's what I used to do. And actually,
Ooh.
now that you're, kind of like mentioning, yeah, that can be an experience, like, for people to come. It's like
Oh,
they can
yeah.
choose, like, what is your intention for your
Mm-hmm.
body today,
Mm.
right?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I love that. Yes. Oh, yeah. That sounds really nice.
Mm,
And I'm also thinking you might make, I don't know the name of it yet, but like a coach's blend or maybe it's not just for coaches, but for like with ginkgo or other things for
yeah,
focus.
focus. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, focus and
Ooh.
energy for the day. Also, for people who sit in front of the computer a lot, I don't know if eyebright is good in a tea, but things that are good for your eyes because you're
Mm-hmm.
staring at the computer and
Bilberries.
blood
Yeah.
flow, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. And I think that's really nice. Yeah. So I could see a few different ways. Like, yeah, maybe there's the tea that people are buying. Maybe even there will be places in your town that could sell your tea blends.
Yeah. There could be. Yeah, there are actually. Now I
Hmm.
could think of a couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah, I guess like these are the things that I did like a few years ago, and like, somehow I just kind of lost focus. And because, yeah, like actually it's kind of interesting, like, what you said about like, okay, maybe like, coaching is not something that I want to do. Well, I mean, I do for that value of like connection and hanging out and, like me serving them in a way.
Yes.
And, but yeah, that's not something that I want to do exclusively. Like
Yes.
I'd enjoy doing that a couple of hours a day, but then I would,
Mm-hmm.
of course, rather build, like something that would generate some passive income.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of interesting, like when during the meditation, we're talking about like parts of the body, like oh yeah, like I've been focusing so much on my heart opening, and like
Mm.
like with traveling, it's like that's probably like the most heart opening for me.
Ooh.
But then I also like I've been having the sore on like this area like of my neck and my
Oh.
shoulder. It's been like I've been like meditating on that, and like showering with light, like like
Yes.
imagining all of that. But so it's like, okay, now what is it trying to tell me? Why is it not going
Mm-hmm.
away?
Mm.
Yeah, it's I don't know, but like what do you think that
Yeah, let
might?
me look into that because that
Yeah.
seems
And oh, but it's okay. I'm just gonna let
oh
you do
you
because
oh
there's
are the
another question like the block. Like, what exactly is blocking me?
well, first about your neck, is there any person or situation who you would call a pain in the neck right now, who's like a
Oh,
persistent annoyance?
probably my
Sorry.
ex,
Oh.
probably my ex-husband.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you have to see him on a regular basis?
yeah. Like every week,
Do you have
when
kids that go back and
yeah.
forth?
So yeah,
Ah,
we
yeah.
we
Okay.
have
Okay.
partial custody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm. quick question. Were you doing the tea when you were together and then you got divorced and then all this other stuff happened? Oh, okay.
No,
So that
actually,
wasn't.
I got all these things figured out after the divorce. Like
Oh,
the
okay.
divorce was like, was kind of like very freeing for me.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Got me very creative, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay. This is one thing for starters, and you can try this, and maybe there will be more ideas that come too, but they're giving me this idea of you picturing that there's like a force field around him, or almost like a glass bell jar that is on top of him. He can't see it. I mean, this is imagination, so really no one is seeing. It's not real, but so they're giving me this idea that you're picturing that all his junk, garbage, whatever negative thoughts or feelings he might have, maybe towards you, or maybe he doesn't, I don't know, but that you're picturing that that's all contained with him, and it's like it's not affecting you. Because I don't know if when you see him, if you're ever like, oh, I wonder if he's talking about me, or I wonder if this happened, or if he has kind of a snotty attitude. But the sense I'm getting is just picturing that it's almost like there's a layer of glass between you, and he can't affect you with how he is.
Okay.
Yeah. And that might not free at all, but even as I say that, now they're giving me this thing. I'm not trying to insult him, but they're showing me of like him being like an animal in a cage in the zoo behind the glass. They're like, let the wild animal be behind the glass. Like you can see it, but it cannot bother you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, that's gonna start. I don't know that it'll like solve it, super like night and day difference, but okay. That's the first thing I'm getting. I feel like maybe they'll tell me something else. Let me see what else I have here. Okay, so that, yeah, okay. The other thing along with that, and you shining all this light and love to that part of your body is, I'm hearing that they want you to use affirmations or statements like, I always make the best choices. I'm doing the best thing today. Like today I did exactly what I was supposed to. Lots of, it feels like layers and ripples and emanating feelings of self-confidence, self-trust, and this, and some people we would call it almost like an arrogance, or like, oh, they're just blindly confident that everything they do is great. And it might be like that if we look at other people, but they want you to have that kind of not blind, but like massive confidence in yourself, and just believe everything that I do, I'm making the best choice. I always make the best choice. And if that feels like too much of a leap from what you're actually feeling, like if when you say that to yourself, there's a part of you that's like, well, I didn't make the best choice about that, or I didn't do this, if negative self-talk comes up, you could pose it as a question instead. What if I'm at the right place in the right time? What if I know the next step for today? What if I take the next right step for today? Let's see if there's anything else. But yeah, I think a lot of and you might play around with either an affirmation or a question, a what if question that works good for you. Something that makes you just really feel like head over heels confident about yourself and in love with yourself. Because I get the sense that if we fast forwarded 3 years and look back, the 3-year you from now is going to feel like you got this. You're doing everything in the right time in the right place. Yeah, I'm getting some tingles with that. So that may be another thing, is feeling connected. I don't know if you've ever done a meditation where you picture your future self connecting with you. Okay, good. But I feel that your 3-year future you is really confident about what you're doing. And I feel like it's fully believable that 3 years from now, you could be leading 2 retreats a year other countries. And you could have a whole plethora of things that people are buying online, teas that people are ordering, or tea courses that they're buying, or any of that. Like, it feels like 3 years is a really manageable time to set it up. That's not going to burn you out if if you let your mental energy and your emotional energy believe, I'm making the right choice. Whatever I'm doing today is whatever I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah.
Okay. I like that, because my thing right now, what I want to create in my life is fun, right?
Ooh.
And the joy. And like, even with the coaching,
Yeah.
that's what I'm focusing on. Like,
Oh, yay.
yeah, um, it's on focusing on creating fun energy and
Mm-hmm.
joyful energy to heal you, to heal yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want that to also apply in, like, all of these other things, like the retreat in other countries. Like, how fun is that?
I know. I think it's
Yeah.
super fun.
Yeah, okay, then yep, we're gonna get there in 3 years. No, no,
Yeah.
not really. We're going to get there. But yeah, by 3 years, yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds amazing. Like,
Yeah. And
being able to
if
do
you need
those
to make it
things.
5 years instead of 3, that's still, like, in our lifetimes, not too much time to take to make something happen.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it.
Wonderful. Yay. Well, so we're almost out of time for when I'm going to have to go, but I am curious if you could share for the readers, or not readers. I don't know why I'm saying readers. This is not a book. For the people on the channel, would you assess if this was a good experience for you, or did you get helpful insight, or like, did it feel accurate or clear for you? How would you evaluate this experience?
Oh, I love the concrete steps that can be taken that's relevant to me. And yeah, those are definitely things that I could apply right away.
Mm.
And yeah, and I like, how you mentioned, like, these things like that you mentioned tea, and it's like, oh, that's kind of my thing. How did you know that? Right? I love it.
Yeah, I love
Um,
that you had your tea right there.
yeah, right? Yeah. Well, although, like, can I just ask like one more
Oh
question
yeah, I have
about,
time
like,
for a quick. Oh yeah,
yeah,
because
like
you did tell me you had two.
the block, like what
Mm.
is blocking me? Like,
Mm.
what is keeping me from doing what I need to do?
Mm. Okay. So it's a little bit like two parts, I feel like, that I'm going to share. One part, and you can speak to this a minute if you want, is I feel like there's something from either your father or your family in the way that beliefs that people had or how you were raised that kind of set up a circumstance that for you right now, it's like it makes it hard for you to move to this next step. So that's one piece of it. But the other piece of it that I feel, because I feel like even though that's something, the piece that I feel that you could work with is that, to me, the block feels like it you're trying it feels like you're trying to create this all from your head and like strategy mentally figuring it out. But the easy fun things of the tea and the breaking it down in little steps and all of that, to me, like when I talk about that, it's like this head stress of how do I figure this out all goes away. It's like you're just having tea parties with friends and coaching happens too. So there's a little bit of this. And one way to think of it too is like it almost feels like you're making it hard. And I'm not saying this in a judgment way, so please don't take it that way, but
Oh
you're
yeah.
making it hard because, and this is what I think goes back to either your father or like family upbringing or cultural upbringing. There's an idea that success happens in a certain way, or success is won through hard work and hard achievement, and the mind
Okay.
is the way. And I mean, minds are beautiful, but yeah, I'm getting the goosebumps now. But your success, your happiness is not just going to come from the mind strategy. It feels like it's going to come from the pure joy of being in community with people, and these tea, maybe not ceremonies, but these tea celebrations. Because I know if I went to a tea thing with two friends and we had a great time, well, then we're talking about it. And then other people say, when's the next one? When can I go? Or, oh yeah, I started drinking tea and now I have her branded water bottle, or, tea jug. I don't know what, I forget the name for it, but like, that's the thing. Like at some point it could have a whole like merchandise part of this that you even do. Anyway, I'm not trying to say that you have to go there, but it feels that the block is a little bit like, I have to figure it out all from here. And it almost starts to feel like clunky and big and overwhelming. But when we talk about the tea and just making some printables, or like, I really feel, and I don't know, you can tell me if I'm wrong about this, but like culturally, I mean, America's big on this, whether or not it's your personal, like family upbringing, or just America's all about hard work and you got to do all these things to get there. But it doesn't feel like hard work when I see this path for you. It feels like you'll be telling yourself, I can't believe it's this easy. And people love this thing that I'm doing that took me 20 minutes. And like 5 people bought my printable that took me 20 minutes, and I'm going to keep on selling it, and that type of thing. Like it feels very effortless.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Effortless, right? Yes, that's exactly easy.
Yes.
But yeah, it is contradictory to definitely the culture.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's interesting. Like, okay, how do I get that out? Because like that's also one thing that I've been releasing, like every time I'm meditating, it's like, okay, I want to release that block, like having to work hard, because that's of course how I brought how I was brought up. And like, coming to, adulthood, and that's what's always encouraged. And
Right. And it makes sense in some ways. I mean, I get it. People, parents, whoever, they don't want us to just sit on the couch all day. Like that would not be a great path either. Well, one thought I have is that perhaps you could picture that this whole working hard thing, what if it's a person that we picture it, not a person, but you picture it is like a human, and you just tell that human, look, thank you for everything you've done for me. You got me this far. And now you get to take a seat at the back of the bus. And when I need you, you're there, but you're not driving this bus anymore. Fun and easy and effortless. They're at the front of the bus, and hard work. And you get to be at the back of the bus or the minivan or whatever. And I respect you and I love you and I thank you, but you're taking a back seat for now. Because it might be that letting it go feels like too much of a internal conflict, but perhaps if you just love it and accept it, and when it comes up again, say, thanks, I love you, back of the van.
okay. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably like the biggest thing for me. Like, why am I not doing things? Like, why am I not taking steps? But okay, yeah, I guess it's just the mind dramatizing things.
Yeah. And I think if you can make it, what if you said, okay, for the next 10 days, I'm going to make one printable a day about tea. And I have a 20-minute time limit, or maybe 30, I don't know. And that's it. And it has to be done. And I make, I do that for 10 days. And then at the end of 10 days, you look and see, would this be a bundle? Would I sell them individually? Are 3 of these really good? Maybe you bring them to your tea ceremonies, not ceremony. I know tea ceremony is a thing, but like your tea gatherings, and see what people respond to. Like, I think if you give yourself little daily small things to do and just say, it has to be easy, it has to be fun. You know, because like prepping with students for the classroom, they don't give us endless time. You know, like you have a lesson plan and you have to teach it, and you got to have the stuff for the next day. So maybe that hard work can be, I'm working hard for 20 minutes or 30 minutes and then I'm done. And I just trust that that was enough. Tomorrow I'll do 30 more minutes just on 1 or 2 printables, and then I move on, or just on, you know, messaging 15 people saying, do you want to come to this tea party? This is where it's going to be and what we're going to do.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those are very concrete steps that I really appreciate.
Oh,
And
good.
yeah, thank you
Yeah,
so
you're
much. Yeah, I
welcome.
like that.
You know, we can stay connected. If you at some point have like a whole tea place where people can find you, I'm happy to put the link below where the video is, because, you know, people like tea.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Of course they do. Absolutely.
I wrote a book about Talk to the Trees, and it's all about trees wisdom.
Oh wow, congratulations.
Thank
That
you.
is so awesome. And actually, you know, I've always believed that it is the trees that granted me freedom from my marriage that I felt was
Really?
imprisoning me. Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was like talking to the trees. It's like
Oh my
I don't want to
gosh.
be there anymore. It's like
Yeah.
2 months later, then like, you know, things started happening that kind of like drove us towards to the divorce. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, that's pretty amazing.
That is really amazing. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Thank you for
yeah.
sharing that with me. That's so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much. And
Yeah,
yeah, feel free if you want to do another session with me at some point. I do one-to-ones, and I'd be happy to
yeah.
work with you again. I'm so excited to tell you about Talk to the Trees, written by Rachel Strivelli, psychic. Talk to the Trees is a short book about connecting to the wisdom of the trees, actually literally talking to them, metaphorically talking to them, learning from the wisdom of these elder beings. What can we gain from them in terms of resilience, how to get through hard times? What do trees know about love, family, and connection, and dealing with hardships of life? You can buy it at the places linked below. Check it out, share it with a friend, buy it for a friend, and spread the word.